Improved flight models, improved icing, and generally a lot more stuff improved. Welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. Today we're talking about Sim Update 4. Stay tuned as I run through the biggest features of this recent Microsoft Flight Simulator update release. Hello YouTube, I'm Pilot Stud and welcome back to another video. If you're new around here, I do Microsoft Flight Simulator update videos, add-on videos and real world aviation videos with everything in between. I try and get plenty of videos up every week, so if you enjoy flight simulation and aviation content, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Now yesterday Microsoft and the Asobo team released Sim Update 4 for the sim, and it brought a load of features that improve the general simulator. As you know, with these videos I don't delve into every single individual detail as I'd be here all day, but I'm going to cover the biggest and most impressive changes, the changes that affect you all. Now on the 25th of May 2021, or yesterday by the time I'm filming this video, Sim Update 4 was released. Now if you don't know what Sim Updates are, they're not world updates, they basically improve the general sim. They add features to aircraft, they improve airports. It's a general fix for the sim. Pretty easy to understand. Let's get right into it. So to start off with navigation, here on the screen you can see all of the navigation changes. Alongside most of my videos, the link to all the sources used in this video is down in the description. Big change, of course, like every update, we've got the new AirAC cycle, something that's very handy if you fly in VATSIM or IVAO. As well as this, FAA data has now been implemented to the nav data solution. Now we'll talk about FAA standards in a minute because there's something to do with ATC that's made me really happy. But basically this is just getting more accurate data from the Federal Aviation Administration over in the United States of America. It's nice to see them kind of working with them. I guess they go through NavBlue. In addition to that, departure gates are now saved in-flight plans.pln, which is the plans you can load up from. This means you won't load up from the end of a runway or in the middle of the sky. If you set it up to get a departure gate, you'll arrive from there. They've also fixed some live air traffic using the wrong model. Now there is actually a lot of live air traffic fixes in this update, such as increasing the density to reflect the real world, which I've seen a lot more. I was flying around Seattle area. I was flying around Seattle earlier and there was plenty of aircraft. It felt a lot more realistic. Because sometimes if you look on Flight Radar 24, compare it to Microsoft Flight Simulator, there's just no planes there. But now, it's looking a lot more busy, which is a nice feature. A nice fix, I have to say. In addition, regarding live traffic, aircraft that are not on the ground but have an altitude of 0 will now appear at a default altitude of 5,000 meters. This basically stops that weird thing you sometimes see where the aircraft are kind of driving along on the ground. It does make me chuckle. I've seen it a few times, but yeah. And overall, live traffic has seen some massive improvements. Stability wise, it's been nice here. Now sticking with navigation for a final point, they've also improved ATC phraseology to match up with the Federal Aviation Administration standards. Now this is a good thing if you live in the United States of America or plenty of other areas that use this standard, but if you're European, it's still not going to solve the issue for you because of course the FAA and EASA standards are very different in terms of ATC. I know especially here in the UK we seem to be slightly more strict with wording, so you still need to find yourself a mod if you want highly realistic standard ATC, but I've got to be honest, if you're looking for highly realistic ATC, you're not going to be using the default version. Moving over to weather, we've seen plenty of awesome fixes here regarding icing and snow especially. Starting off with icing, they've made it more realistic. You won't accumulate so much ice so quickly, but it is slower to defrost. They've also fixed the severity of icing and how that affects the aircraft. I think icing was one of the more unrealistic parts of the sim. It was just crazy at times, I've got to admit. Hopefully it's toned it down. I don't often have an issue with icing myself because I'm generally flying the FS2020, so I just keep icing on at all times. That's my practice at the moment. But if you like flying through clouds and smaller aircraft, I'm sure this is going to help you. Now moving over to aircraft, we've seen plenty of changes here that I'm not going to talk all about today because I'd be here all day, but the basic gist is improved flight models on almost every single aircraft, as well as autopilot being improved slightly. To start off, they've added altitude interception for pitch hold mode on all planes with autopilot of course, and fixed the issue where autopilot flies towards a waypoint removed from the flight plan. They've changed the authority of autopilot so it shouldn't be so severe. I've seen this to a certain extent, although I don't actually use the default A320, I use the A320NX, so I'm not too sure if this affects me too much. It's been a really good update for those who really like an accurate flight model. I know for many of you it won't be too important, but if you like your sims to be as realistic as possible, it's going to make a massive difference to you. Turboprops have had some love. Plenty of it. The King Air, the TBM and the 208 Caravan have seen massive improvements, especially concerning torque and prop control. Both of these have seen massive improvements to make them more realistic. I've got to be honest, I don't fly turboprop aircrafts all too often, but trust me, these have had massive flight model updates. You should feel the aircraft feel a lot more stable. They've reduced the rudder authority on all of these aircraft, meaning they're not so wobbly in the air depending on how much rudder you put in. And they fixed the reverse thrust problem that we've seen with these turboprop aircraft. I don't fly turboprops all too often, but if you do, this really has been an update for you. Moving over to other aircraft, we now see weather displays displaying precipitation instead of cloud coverage. Of course, that's a good thing, it's what they do in real life. They do display clouds, but they generally are more focused on precipitation, as that would entail clouds. You'll see this on all aircraft with weather radars. In addition, all applicable AI traffic now have contrails, making the sky look once again more realistic. My favourite aircraft, the Cessna 152, has had a lot of love concerning the flight model and its wheels not touching the ground being fixed. The same also applies to the 172 with a fine tuning of the flight model there. The A320 and 787 have seen some small features, although nothing extraordinary here. We've now got ECAS now displaying CLB instead of CL, or climb instead of CL in the A320, although once again, as I use the A320 NX, this doesn't have much of an impact on me. All the Diamond aircraft have seen some updates as well, the DA40 and DA62, especially concerning propeller drag and engine drag. They've been fine tuned here. And something that was really bugging me, my final fix to this, is that community folder add-ons will not show up as installed in the content manager. And this is more of a petty thing, but I was fed up of seeing those add-ons that I had installed being shown as uninstalled in the content manager. It just looked messy, but anyway, this is gone now. And finally, if you've got the CH Pro throttle pedals, throttle or throttle quadrant or yoke or stick, they've also fixed default mapping here. So there we have it guys, a big update for Microsoft Flight Simulator, adding an improved flight model and icing effects to the sim. What did you think? Has it been a good update for you? Tell me down below. I hope you've enjoyed this update explained video, taking a look at the biggest features and most important features from the recent update. It has been more behind the scenes than usual. We haven't seen any direct big changes, but trust me, it's all sitting behind the yoke or stick, whatever you use to fly, and the aircraft, all the aircraft, should feel more realistic. I hope this video has helped you out guys. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe down below. Thank you to my first class and business class channel members. My first class channel members get a shout out on the screen now. If you want to become a channel member, be sure to click that join button for a perfect way to support the channel and get something back in return. But anyway guys, from me today, that is all. Bye bye.